What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Abbin, with my co-host, Nigel Patterson.
Hello, everybody.
Hope everybody has had a great weekend. Everybody had a great week. It's been a while since we've been on the air. A lot of things have gone on. So, me personally, I want to dedicate this show to my friend and old roommate, Ty, who passed away just a little over a week ago. So, we've both been going through a lot. Nigel, what have you been up to in terms of just in the show's absence that people haven't heard from us in a while? What has life been up for you, man?
Failing classes and wondering why I'm in school.
Yeah. Oh, Nigel,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Nigel, how does this happen, man? I feel like this is like a routine thing.
Nah, I took a class I shouldn't have taken, and now I'm like, man, just regret.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you take a class you shouldn't have taken?
Because I wanted to I couldn't take the other class because I'm stupid and I had gotten remedial math, so I can't take another science course.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, only science course that's available is anatomy, and so I'm taking that. I haven't taken a science course in 9 years.
Oh wow.
So she's like going through the classes. She's like, oh, this is elementary stuff. And I'm like, yo, I have no idea what I'm doing right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And she's like flying. She's like just going through it. Like the first 4 chapters, she was flying through it. She was like, oh, this is review. You should all know this stuff. Yeah, this is all basic stuff. You should know it. And I'm just like, I've never seen.
I have no idea what this is.
First of all, I haven't seen half the stuff in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I don't remember half the other half of the stuff. So I'm like,
you're just struggling.
I'm just there.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Man, now you gotta get right, man.
Yeah. I'm right. I got 60, like 63, so I'm not right there. It's just I passed this test. I'm like, next Monday, I'm straight. Right?
What do you need to pass it?
To pass the grade, pass the test. It's not like I need that.
No, I'm saying to
pass
the class. What grade?
69. Aiming for it.
Oh my goodness, Nigel, come on, man.
I'm going for a 70.
Bare minimum.
I'm done.
Come on, we gotta get that up, man.
Nah, I don't go for bare minimum.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
going for a 70.
Oh my gosh. This man Nigel's hilarious. But all right, y'all. Like I said earlier, I'm dedicating this show to my friend Ty.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, definitely rest in peace, man. Got Tupac Changes playing in the background. Knew it was a song that he definitely liked while he was blessing us with this time on this earth. But hopefully you have a great show in honor of Ty. But y'all, let me go down the rundown of the topics for today.
Before you run on the topics, we usually ask a question.
Oh yeah.
Being that today is Columbus Day, but I want to ask you.
Okay.
In 1492, Christopher Columbus set sail with 3 ships.
Ooh.
What were the 3 ships he set sail?
Wow. Was the Mayflower?
Yo. Absolutely wrong. Nah, go ahead.
The ports. Your face is the. Dang, this is why don't we make this our trivia question?
This is for you.
Oh.
This is for you. You always ask me a question about stuff I don't know about comic books.
Come on.
Here's a history question for you.
All right.
This is the case, I'll get it right.
Yeah.
You may have had that 100% right.
Yeah, I feel like the Mayflower is the most standout name of a ship for me. Okay, Mayflower. I feel like it's called the Portsmouth or something like that. Portsmouth is like Portsmouth is the area, but I don't know if that was the name.
You're right.
I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I had 3 different ships in my mind.
Oh, wait. So it was the Mayflower?
This is Mayflower.
Man, look at me, man. Look at. You know what, y'all? That deserves a round of applause, man.
Go ahead.
You know the last time I did anything involving history?
Probably like yourself in
Dude, it's literally.
I'm surprised you got that.
And it wasn't even American history.
I confused my ships.
You said you confused your ships?
I did.
Wow, I'm impressed with myself.
I'm the stupid one now all of a sudden because I can't remember which 3. Where did I get the 3 ships from?
I have no idea.
Oh, those were for his first trip. Okay, I'm bugging. I was thinking of the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the Nina.
None of those would have been my guesses.
Those were his first trips he ever took a trip. Okay, my fault.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
I got the answer wrong.
Hey, my man. I see
it to you, Brendan. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, gotta be on it with my history, bro. Gotta know my American history.
Why do I tell you not smart?
All right, y'all. So let me reflect on some topics we had that are actually a great part of our American culture in today's society. So we're gonna talking some football and talking what are some of our biggest surprises of Week 5 and just so far the NFL season. And then we're also going to talk about what does the injuries to OBJ and JJ Watt do to their respective teams, and should this be Ben Roethlisberger's last season? And then what is the weakness of the Kansas City Chiefs, who are undefeated to this day right now in the NFL, the only undefeated team left? And then we're also going to hit our speed round where we'll touch on other topics such as Dwayne Wade being named a starter, the NBA possibly reformatting their playoff structure, all those kind of things. So we'll jump into all of that and more. Let me give a quick comic book question for everybody So the comic book trivia question is: after Spider-Man got rid of the symbiote, and it went on to Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock got rid of it, what was the following symbiote that Eddie Brock became exposed to? Was it Carnage? Was it Spider Carnage? Was it Anti-Venom? Or was it Spawn? You can tweet us your answers at KBR_sports. Okay, Nigel, what is your answer to the question?
Yeah, what was the third one?
Anti-Venom. And then there's Spawn.
I'm going to go Anti-Venom.
You're going to go Anti-Venom?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds wrong.
It sounds wrong? Oh my gosh. Okay. So remember, y'all can follow and subscribe to the KBR Sports Podcast. We're going on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Don't forget, you can also follow the KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports, where the live links and show topics are tweeted prior to every single show. Also, you can call in at 571-991-0566 to give your thoughts and opinions on any KBR Sports show topic we may be discussing. All right, so in terms of the biggest surprises so far of the NFL season, and this over this past weekend, I mean, we have a lot of different upsets and different picks that went down. Nigel, if you had to choose your biggest surprises or just overall surprise of the NFL weekend, what team or what loss or win surprised you the most?
I'm gonna go with the 0-5 Giants. Surprised me the most. They had this game. They had the game won, and then the Chargers walk back down the field and score. They lose OBJ. They lose Brandon Marshall. They lose
Sterling
Shepard.
Yeah.
It's just the most surprising thing. I mean, nobody expected them to be 0-5, didn't you? I think you picked them to be either first or second in the division or something like that.
Yeah, I did.
I thought they would be contending for the division. Everybody thought they would be contending for the division.
Yeah.
Can't win a game.
It's honestly, I don't get it. Because their defense was so good last year. Now you come back a season later, your offense is essentially the same. If anything, you would think your offense got better because you added Brandon Marshall. But remember, that was part of the contrition we had with this team at the beginning. We weren't sure of how they were going to play out, even though they added Brandon Marshall.
Yeah,
yeah, you know, we were really skeptical about it. I remember they were 11-5 last year, and I was like, they're gonna take a step back. Like they're gonna take a step because they can't protect. They don't have an offensive line. They can't run the football, and so you know it was naturally one of those things in the cards that now you took that proverbial step back. So I definitely can see why that is that's a huge. I mean, 0-5, dude. That 0-5, like that's tanking worthy. You know, the Jets aren't 0-5. They don't have a quarterback. Josh McCown.
Jets beat them.
The Jets, the Jets beat them. Yeah, it's like you're one of those situations. Like you're like, at this point, okay. Even though I know this is going off a bit, at this point you're 0-5. Your season's pretty much. You lose OBJ. You lost all your receiving weapons.
You lost all your receivers.
Yeah.
OBJ.
So,
but you did lose like 90% of your offense.
Yeah, you know. So at this point, Eli, who's he going to throw to, and who his weapons? Are you starting to look at this point like, okay, we're bad. Start shutting. You just kind of like, okay, well, we're not going to come back and make the playoffs from 0-5.
No.
There's really no honor in trying to win multiple games at this point.
No.
Do you start thinking about getting a quarterback in the draft?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a quarterback.
Absolutely. What? Yeah, I mean, Eli's my career's down. 35.
No, that's fine.
Eli's what? 35?
Yeah, he's 35. All the quarterbacks in that draft class are 35, 36.
I mean, at this point, unless you're gonna somehow retool again and come back again next year. You gotta start looking at a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. You want to let's not.
No,
you're in a great position
to get it,
quote unquote, great position to get a quarterback this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well go ahead and say, get a quarterback. Sit him for. Cause you guys gonna play 1 or 2 more years.
Yeah.
You might as well go ahead and get the guy.
Well, I agree with you, but let me play devil's advocate.
Sure.
For the conventional fan that's sitting here right now, like, okay, we got OBJ, we got Brandon Marshall, we got this good defense, and they're saying, why don't we try and buy in to try and make this team good? And why don't you trade out of that number 1 pick, get a multitude of picks, and go use that number 1 pick to go get more talented offensive linemen, protect Eli, elongate his career, go get a running back from the free agent market, or go get him later on in the draft, and you build yourself a running game, you build yourself an offensive line that will help prolong Eli and help make the offense better to couple it with that stout defense you have.
Because Eli's, at the start of next year, will be 37 years old, and next year he'll be turning 38 years old. I mean, how much are you elongating his career? I mean, you've seen quarterbacks that you've seen when they get old, it doesn't fall off slowly. It's a drop, a steep drop.
But here's the thing: all the quarterbacks. Okay, let's think about the quarterbacks we've seen the steep drop with. Peyton Manning's the most notable.
Absolutely.
He had multiple neck surgeries.
Sure.
He had a foot injury that year as well. Brett Favre came off of Bountygate. That was when he got targeted in that NFC Championship game. Tom Brady's still playing at a high level.
Tom Brady's an exception.
Drew Brees is playing at a high level. Drew Brees is a year younger than him. Brett Favre played at a high level until Bountygate. So these guys have played long into especially with how technology is nowadays and how guys know how to take care of themselves. It shows that you can play out longer. Now, granted, Eli's not as good as those guys. I mean, but Eli's never been as good as those guys. He hasn't been. I mean, I don't think Eli will.
Don't just pick Eli. He's a Hall of Famer.
Is Eli as good as Tom Brady? Is Eli as good as Drew Brees?
No.
Is Eli as good as
He's right behind him. Come on.
Drew Brees? You don't believe that. Yeah, I was saying you don't believe it. So I think it's one of those things that you try. I'm agreeing with you that you should go get a quarterback because I think you're always in the best position when you're a bad team and you weren't supposed to be bad. That you can go get, like how the Cowboys were bad when Tony Romo got hurt. You get Ezekiel Elliott.
Even to your point of you trade those picks, the first pick. Let's not say the first pick. The Browns are getting the first pick. Let's not play around here. The Browns are gonna get the first pick. They'll end up with the second pick. Even if they trade that pick and get a multitude of picks, you're hoping on that every single one of those offensive line picks work out immediately, and they're all great immediately. That's what I'm saying. It's just like you're taking a huge gamble. Just take a quarterback, and you can try and fix your offensive line through free agency and maybe a trade or two or there.
Okay, but let me use this to transition real quick because I'm actually going to jump to my surprise. Jacksonville beating the Steelers and how
beating
routing them,
that's
owning them like 30-9. That's rough. Big Ben throwing 5 picks, two pick sixes. That's terrible. And it's one of those things. Same draft class as Eli Manning, and you start looking at it from that. But they're actually a good team. I mean, they're 3-2. Yeah, so it's not the same. You're not exactly, but you're starting to kind of hear the things like, okay, should these guys start looking to get a quarterback? You say
he's thinking about retirement.
And that's the thing. When you're in a contact sport like football, and you're starting to think about retirement, you kind of like sort of how Andre Ward retired in boxing earlier this year. When you're in these kind of sports, if you're thinking about retiring, you don't need to be in the sport anymore. That's how you end up getting hurt because your heart's not in it, and your preparation is going to be as marquee as it should be.
6 touchdowns and 7 picks.
But for real, is this one of those things that we should start looking out for Jacksonville? Because 3-2 Jacksonville.
What do you mean looking out for?
Jacksonville has one of the best defenses in the league.
That's the question. What do you mean looking out for? Like contender? Like
just on the come up. Think about it. In that division, Marcus Mariota's hurt.
Sure.
Texans. Obviously, J.J. Watt just got hurt, but Deshaun Watson's been playing well in that division.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, so when you're looking at the two teams that everybody thought were going to be the marquee teams, which is the Tennessee Titans and the Texans. Mariota? I think he's out for 2 more weeks, either a week or 2 more weeks. So if you're looking at it from that standpoint, then now you got this Jaguars defense that's actually playing well. Blake Bortles isn't destroying you, so. They're literally just a run team. Yeah, they just run the football. So, if that's one of those things, Jacksonville maybe can make it some noise. I'm surprised. 3-2.
I still think the Texans will win the division.
You said still think the Texans?
I shouldn't say still because I don't remember who I picked, but I'm gonna say the Texans are probably winning the division, even with J.J. Watt missing the rest of the year. I'll still take the Texans.
Texans 2-3. Jaguars 3-2. Yeah. The Titans 2-3, Colts 2-3.
But the thing is that like 2 of their losses are the Patriots and the Chiefs.
The Texans?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what can you do about that? That's just unfortunate. And the first one was Deshaun Watson's first game, I think.
Yeah.
It's just like, they play the Browns next week. Okay, 3-3. Then they play the Seahawks, the Colts. I'm just saying.
Come on, man. We can't presume these things.
I'm just saying. The Colts, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Ravens, Titans, 49ers, Jaguars again. The Jaguars, the Texans. It's not a tough schedule. It is my point here.
I get where you're coming from. I could definitely see that it'll be a different kind of stretch of games for them. But
outside of the Seahawks and the Rams, no one else on that list is making me like, that's a I don't know about that one. The rest of those are winnable games.
Okay, but if you had to choose the most talented team right now, who would you choose? Like now you take J.J. Watt out of the equation. Whitney Merciless got hurt on the Texans defense as well. So if you're looking at the most talented team, isn't Jacksonville arguably the most talented team, especially if Marcus Mariota is currently out? Wouldn't that fall on Jacksonville?
It how the defense plays. I mean, J.J. Watt was out last year, and the defense was great last year.
But Whitney Merciless is hurt too. He just got hurt. I don't know what his diagnosis is.
How long he's out for? That changes everything for me.
Yeah.
I mean, now if it's like, because then
those are your two best. Those are three of your. That's two of your best rushers right there.
But like I said, last year they played okay with J. They played better than okay. They played great without J.J. Watt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they can give you that kind of defense again, I'll take.
But now Jacksonville, you add Leonard Fournette to it. You add Leonard Fournette.
Deshaun Watson.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
at the end of the day, it's gonna.
Which defense is better?
The Jacksonville. Probably.
That's what I'm saying. And that's
whose offense is better?
Texans.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and how much closer is Jacksonville Texans defense versus their offense? There's a gap in their offense.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. There's a precipitous dip off between how good the Jacksonville.
But so that's what I'm saying. It's just like I'm going to take. I'll take the Texans over Jacksonville. And now, unless Blake Bortles comes out and if you make a statement without saying Blake Bortles isn't killing you, then I'll take the Jacksonville.
Okay, let me give another surprise that I had this week. The Patriots. The Patriots literally just barely beat the Bucks, and it required the Bucks missing 3 field goals. Mm-hmm. Like that's 9 points. They won 19-14.
Look good most of the season.
But that's the surprise though, isn't it? Like that's our biggest surprise. Like think about it. When we came into the season, Patriots were favored by everybody to make it back to the Super Bowl.
Go back and listen to what I said. Go back and listen to what I said.
No, you didn't. You didn't choose the Patriots.
I said we shouldn't be jumping on the 16-0 bandwagon because may not be that as good as you guys think they will be.
But they had so much talent. They were the most talent. But I think a lot of things, like think about how much the Patriots got taken away from them in terms of their Julian Edelman to me has been the biggest injury.
I mean, they didn't have Gronk either.
Huh?
They don't think that. They didn't have Gronk either.
No, Gronk didn't play. But like Julian Edelman to me has been the biggest injury because it's that continuity that Tom Brady has with those guys. Tom Brady's playing great.
No, he's playing bad.
But he's getting hit a lot. That's the problem.
Their problem hasn't been offense. This game was offense, but their problem was the defense.
Tom Brady's getting hit a lot though, and even this game on defense, you're watching the game. Jameis Winston missed Deshaun Jackson on like a couple of deep bombs that he had.
I saw that.
And it's like you think of it, it's like they got to the red zone multiple times, and then you can't convert a field goal. Nick Folk misses 3 field goals. So to me, that's just like so stunning for the Patriots to be in a position where you're like they're winning by luck. Like they're literally winning by luck.
That's how it goes sometimes. Well, how they're in their perfect season? By luck. David Johnson doesn't make that catch 99% of the time.
Yeah,
I mean, so you gotta have luck sometimes. It happens.
Okay, another surprise. I guess this is an individual surprise. Cam Newton.
Yeah, I actually thought about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton killed it.
Yeah,
killing it recently. Last 2 games actually.
First back-to-back game since his rookie season of throwing for 300+ yards and multiple touchdowns in a game.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He's been killing it. I criticized him, and then he comes out and plays phenomenal.
So is this one of those things that because the Panthers are 4-1, but I feel like nobody's talking about them.
Honestly, I didn't know that.
You didn't know they're 4-1? Like, that's the crazy thing. They're 3-0 away.
I looked it up because you were talking about surprising. I was like, 4-1.
Yeah, and they're 3-0 on the road. So think about it. Is this a team that people should start taking more seriously? Because you're 4-1, you've already played 3 away games, and you've won them all. And so I guess like, at what point are people going to start actually being like, okay, wait, he doesn't have Greg Olsen. And now he's just getting into his groove because remember Cam couldn't practice initially because of he was still fresh off the shoulder injury. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it was, oh man, Cam is bad, blah blah blah. But the team is still winning in spite of how bad he was looking. And now and Greg Olsen has been removed from the equation. Yet he's like this last game, 26 of 33, 355 in yards, 3 touchdowns. That's crazy. So like, should we start taking these guys like more seriously? No.
That's 2 games. Look, I'm glad Cam's playing well. Don't get me wrong. But he needs to do more than 2 games.
He needs to do more.
Now, as far as the Panthers go, I mean, what do you think? Like, looking for a playoff?
I mean, think about it. That division is always just a toss-up. Falcons won it last year. Year before that, Panthers won it. Year before that, Panthers won it. Like it's just like you can't predict it with this. The Buccaneers are supposed to be the team that was supposed to come out of nowhere in this year. But Matt Ryan hasn't been MVP Matt Ryan, but all these.
I mean, you still got. They're still what 3-2.
The Falcons.
3-2.
3-1. Yeah.
Bro. So I mean, they're still 3-1. Do you I mean, it depends. Do you think Cam's gonna keep this up?
And here's the thing. And before I address your Cam point, them being 3-1, it's kind of like they're 3-1, but it's not like by the biggest of margins. If that makes sense. Like remember that Detroit win, they won by Golden Tate missing the end zone by like 18 inches. So I'm like, if he scores, you're easily 2-2. So it's like it's not like Atlanta's that much apart from all the other teams in the division or in the NFC. Granted that they brought back a lot of their offensive personnel. The offense hasn't looked as potent as it was last year. And if you're talking about if I can depend on Cam, if I'm getting a healthy Cam Newton, I mean, would you not put faith in a healthy Cam Newton? Like last season, he played hurt. It was noted that he played hurt because he had the shoulder surgery at the end of the year. So if you're telling me Cam Newton's healthy, I mean, doesn't that change the equation some a bit? Because now he's healthy and you have a defense. You have a good defense. They've been playing at a good amount of ball. And then you look at New Orleans. Yes, Drew Brees is always going to be Drew Brees, but he doesn't have it. You don't have to worry about. And in Tampa Bay, I mean, how are we feeling about Tampa Bay? Can you count on Jameis Winston to not turn the ball over when you need him not to turn over the most? That's like, or to not make the bad pass when you need him to make the best pass in those moments. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the little things that make me be like, man, I just don't know if I can really say I depend on anybody in that division with a certainty.
I still put my trust in the Falcons.
You say you still put your trust in the Falcons?
Yeah, I still put my trust in the Falcons. I do feel like the Panthers now are right behind me.
Mm-hmm. It's understandable. I wouldn't disagree with you on that one. Do you have any other surprises that you want to get to before I go to the next?
Jets?
Why, I just don't understand how you don't tank right.
Who's just the tanking?
They need to be tanking.
You think they need to be doing what they need to be doing at the
Nigel, are the Jets going to the playoffs?
They could.
No. So if you don't go to the playoffs, what's the point of being good?
All right, so you gotta be entertaining. You can't. That's a terrible mentality to have.
Now, when was the last time the Jets were entertaining?
When they had Mark Sanchez. No, I mean, you asked me a question.
Oh hell.
When they went to back-to-back
butt fumbles.
Before that. don't act like his first 2 years weren't good.
No, they were good when they had the Ralph Rivas years. Yeah, they were good.
Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, but notice something. They were actually good in those years.
That doesn't mean you can't be entertaining when they're not good.
I mean, you can be but it's like there's a difference between being entertaining and just like not being good. Like you just like I don't.
Game winning is entertaining, is it not?
It's entertaining, but it's like winning. There's empty winning. Like right now, the Rams people are actually like, okay, this team could actually like make some noise. They can actually get. We talked about it last time we had the show. We both put them actually go to playoffs. Yeah, and so. It's one of those, like that's actually we see something coming out of that. The Jets, they're winning some games. We're eventually just waiting for it to be like.
But what if that doesn't happen?
What if it doesn't happen?
What if they go a solid 8-8?
What are the odds?
20% maybe. What if it happens? Is that still an exciting year?
No, it still happens. But at the end of the day, you don't have a quarterback still. You got Josh McCown, but you need a franchise quarterback.
You get one in the draft still.
One of the top guys.
Where does Deshaun Watson pick that?
He was picked in the first round.
Yeah, the end of the first round, though.
No, he's picked right in the middle.
Right in the middle, right in the end.
What was he? I thought he was the 10th pick. Yeah, he was 10th pick.
Which would be not 10, not 8. But still, the point remains. You can get one of two.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying like the odds though, like your odds. Like you want to get your guy, it's easier to get your guy into the number 1 or 2 pick. Or in the top 5 at least, especially if the Giants don't end up taking if they end up.
Sorry, hold on a second. 3-2. My bad. They're 3-2.
Yes,
I said 2 and 3.
Oh yes, that's 3. That's 3 more ones they need to be having.
But I'm saying, you know what? If they go 8-8, I mean that shows that you're improving. It shows you have a team. You just need a quarterback.
It'd make it a lot tougher to get that quarterback.
You can get that quarterback.
All right, y'all. We're going to transition to our next topic. We're going to talk about which injury will make a more of a resounding impact with their team, the OBJ injury or the J.J. Watt injury. Stay tuned to find out what we think is KBR Sports, the best sports talk show your 24-hour day. Don't forget, when the live link disappears, wait about 50 to 60 seconds, refresh the page, and the live link will be back up for you all to tune into. It's KBR Sports.
Derek Carr, 2nd round pick.
But these guys are outliers.
I'm just saying, but it happens. That's the point.
It does. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but how many more guys are successful?
Franchise quarterback Deshaun Kaiser came in the end of the first round.
You got benched.
He did get benched.
What do you